going on, Jerome? So I know everyone and their mom has opinions what is gonna happen with Sling and Sammy Darnold, aka America's quarterback, in the Vikings this offseason. Plus, since most people got together with friends and family on Christmas, the drunk uncle, they should stick with Sam Darnold because he can sling that football. He's the best I've seen since Tommy Kramer. Right. Everyone's got an opinion. Who knows what's going to happen? Highly dependent on what happens with the rest of the playoffs as well as Super Bowl. And again, if Sam Darnold wins the Super Bowl, give him all the money. I just do not. I do not care. But Darnold has flipped the switch, going from a former number 3 overall pick in 2018 draft bust to playing like a top 5 quarterback, playing like a top 4 or 5 MVP candidate. Going to get paid. Right. So the question is, how much? The whole Baker/Geno semi-commitment deal, that's out the window. I think given the demand, if he hits the open market, I think that he honestly could get 50-55 million a year, and I don't even think that's an exaggeration at this point. So many teams need quarterbacks, not a ton of them in the draft or in free agency, although if Brock Purdy becomes available, because I don't think San Francisco should pay him. But it's all right. We're having a December to remember. He's absolutely getting after things, and dearest Prudence, my pockets are going to be filled with doubloons. They'd have doubloons in the Civil War, but it's all right. It's going to be victorious, and no matter what happens, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. But of course, we know Kwesi. Kwesi is going to make the best decision for this team, and he was right about Kirk Cousins, and he's been right more than he's been wrong. And I do think that the Moneyball strategy will prevail. I don't think that they're going to rush and extend Darnold on a multi-year deal. I think that if he's back, he's on the franchise tag. I do think that the franchise tag is in play for a tag and trade or keeping him for a year because, of course, you do have J.J. McCarthy waiting in the wings, but there is some question marks there. Long story longer. Over at The Athletic, Mike Sando did up a great piece where the number one question was, what's going to happen with Darnold and the Vikings, as the Vikings are shocking the NFL right now. And he talked to 3 anonymous execs as well as an agent. So this is what happened. Against that backdrop, we pick up the conversation with league insiders of what's going to happen with Darnold and the Vikings. Executive number 1, quote, "This season has proved Sam needs Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hockenson, one of the grittiest offensive lines." Gritty? Maybe gritty like cat litter, because sometimes they're poop, and a top back in Aaron Jones. If you are Minnesota, you wave goodbye to Sam, wish him luck, and hope he signs for $50 million with some team that thinks they're a quarterback away, but doesn't have all the things Minnesota has. You get the premium comp pick, which I wouldn't say that a third rounder, maybe, depending on offsets of who the Vikings signed in 2025, a potential third-round pick in 2026, I don't think that's premium. Nah, that's why the tag and trade certainly is in play. You found your next Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. We're going down that road. Who is this executive? Is he a former executive? Because it kind of sounds like he might be. And you already have your draft pick McCarthy ready to go. That is what a smart organization does. Exec number 2, I agree, except for the Daniel Jones piece. Jones isn't a real option. Exec 3, what if they just franchise tag Darnold, which then keeps McCarthy in place for the future? Agent, they can afford that. The Vikings have around $78 million in cap space. The estimated franchise tag for a quarterback is going to be about $41-42 million, which, compared to all of the cash that's flowing around, $41-42 million a year. I mean, that's not bad. Plus, the threat of the franchise tag we've been over could leverage Jefferson or Darnold into a 1-year deal. Not Jefferson, into a 1-year deal, maybe with the no tag clause in 2026. Right? They can afford it. What they can't afford is turning it over to a rookie coming off a season-ending injury. The only Darnold caveat at this point is the playoffs. Is this Darnold's agent? Right? Because there is questions about J.J. McCarthy and his knee. Also questions that he has improved it at the NFL level where Sam Darnold has had this magical season. Plus, you do feel like this season would be replicable with Kevin O'Connell, with the weapons, etc. Which, remember, Jefferson, Addison, Hawkins are all under contract if you include Addison's 5th-year option through 2027. So if Darnold stays here, he understands, hey, I'm playing at least 9 games indoors, whether the Vikings have 9 home games or 8 plus a game in Detroit, at least, minimum. And also, all these weapons, Kevin O'Connell is going to be in place, whether Wes Phillips or Josh McCown leave or not. And I could have a lot of success here. Would I take less What would I return to the Vikings for, say, $35 million a year versus going to the Raiders for $50 million a year, or the Titans or the Giants or wherever, and just be an ass, right? Because Darnold knows, like, hey, with the Jets didn't work out because of no weapons, bad coaching. Same thing with Carolina. But here, it's actually worked out. But I don't know, like, obviously, we're going to trust what Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell want to do. Plus, I mean, Kevin O'Connell wanted to bring Kirk Cousins back. Kwesi said no. So I think that even when they disagree, I think that they're good checks and balances, right? And Kwesi, I think that Kwesi is going to approach the Darnold situation like they did with Kirk Cousins. Like, Kwesi is going to write down a number. It's like, hey, this is what we'll offer you. If you can get more, God bless, right? Or they'll just franchise tag him. Or it'll be a tag and trade with Darnold and his agent's input on where he wants to go. All right, I'll work out a trade that way. But I don't know, like, who knows what's going to happen this offseason. I actually am higher on Daniel Jones than that second executive was, where if Darnold does leave or is tagged and traded, I do think that J.J. McCarthy will step in, be a very viable starter from day one. For all the reasons why it's working out with Darnold, it will work out with J.J. McCarthy. And then have Daniel Jones as that rebuilt, functional backup quarterback, getting some run in training camp and preseason, maybe attracting some suitors. And then, maybe you get that comp pick in 2027 when he leaves the free agency and signs for $1 bajillion, because Kevin O'Connell is indeed the quarterback whisperer. All that stuff. But it is a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. But it is interesting to see all the various opinions of what happens, because, I mean, these executives are in the league. These executives could be finding themselves in very similar situations that have an insider's perspective. I mean, some of these executives could be on teams that end up trading for or signing Sling and Sammy Darnold. So that's certainly interesting. And I don't know, I feel like their opinion is a little bit better than drunk uncles. Maybe less entertaining. Who knows? But your thoughts are thoughts. The Athletic, they polled anonymous executives, see what's going to happen with Slingin' Sammy Darnold, a.k.a. America's quarterback. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys know what to do. Skull production value.